Hello. This is MA Tech Tips. This is a video on an introduction to Microsoft Office Word. I will start by opening a Microsoft Word. I use Microsoft 365, but this one works for all of the different versions of Microsoft Word. We will start by opening a new blank document. We have different tabs on top of the document. We have File, Home, Insert, Draw, Design, Layout, References, Mailing, Review, and the others. So I will show you one by one. On the first one, on the file, this is on this one. The first thing, we can open a new document. We can also just open an existing Word file. Then the others are this here. We can save the document. If we save first, then if we update and we try to save, we can use only save. If it is the first time, we use just save as. So I will say save as document on browse, and I will save this one on the desktop. Okay, this is some kind of tutorial one. This is a tutorial video, and the document type, I will choose this one as Word document. I will save this one, then it is already saved. Then the other thing, we can export to PDF, or we can save as just Adobe PDF. We can export the file in the other function. This is from the home, from the file section, and this is home. In home, what we can do is just we can type a document. Let's say this is a tutorial on. This is a tutorial video on Microsoft Word, on the Microsoft on the Microsoft Word. This is just text. So in Word, this is if we have this text, the first thing we can change the font style in the Home tab. We can change the home style. This is just, or we can also adjust the size of the text as we see here. First, we should select the text, then we can go here and change the text size. As we see here on the tab, we can change the text. Let's say, I will say by 18. We can change the font. This is Calibri. We can change to Times New Roman, or this whatever we want. This is the font style. We can change the font style on this tab. This is just to add the text size. We can also change text size or decrease here. This is possible also. Then we can make the text bold. This is B is for bold, italic, or underline. We can say bold. If I say bold, you see the bold face of the text. We can make it italic, or by unselect, we make it not italic or normal text. We can underline the text. In the underline, we can choose just double line underline, single line, bold line, hidden, or something, just different line of underlines. We can select, let's say this one, or just we can select the other text with single line. This is an underline, and we can also change the color of the underline. Can change the color of the underline. Let's say this one. So we can do this, and if we want to add some kind of subscript or superscript, we can, here we see x2 as subscript or x2 as superscript. If I have, let's say, 2, and I want to make it select 2, then I can click here. It makes subscript, as you see here, text of the subscript, or we can make this one as superscript, subscript or superscript. This is possible in Home tab. Then the next one is, the next thing we can do is just we can change the text style. I can select the whole text, and here we can change the effect on the text. This is just some kind of text effects on the text. We can select one of them. We can add shadow or reflection, or we whatever we want. This is on the text effect. We add some kind of text effects. This is possible. And the color of the text can be changed here. As we see here, the letter A under has some different color. This is the text color. I can change text color to red to blue. Let's say I can say green. Okay, I should first select this one. Then I can say this one is green. So now the text color is green. The text color can be also changed. Then this is just, we can highlight the text. So we can select the text. Then on this tab, we have some kind of brush icon, so we can change the text color. As we see here, we can highlight the text if we want to highlight some part of the text. These are some of the text editings. Then if we need to have adjust right side to center, I can say center, or it's possible to the right, to the left, or just adjust the text color. Then this is just to adjust the position of the text or the alignment of the text to right, left, center, or just to justify it. So we can also make some, let's say, this is just maybe I will say some kind of now some shopping lists to see some different functionalities. I will say this one as this not superscript. It should be subscript, superscript, this normal text. It should be just a normal text, and I will say this. Oh, and the color is just black. Okay, underline is not underlined. Okay. Now the effect, the color effect is just no effect. Okay. Now let's say maybe fruits. Okay, let's say fruits with vegetables, some kind of lists. Okay, maybe clothing. Okay, I can say maybe some clothes and stuff. In the fruits tab, I can list some, let's say banana, some apple, maybe some orange and stuff. This kind of list. Then on vegetables, maybe let's say cabbage, onions, and stuff. We can do this one on the clothings. I can say shoe, let's say just maybe socks, maybe pants. You can do whatever you want. What I want to show here is just if we have some kind of lists, then in the home tab we can do the first thing is just we can make it as the headings, just as a kind of title. I can select the shopping list and let's say make it heading 1, and let's say that the fruits, this is the next one under the shopping list. I will click here on the down button, then it says just heading 2. Then on vegetables, the next thing I will say this one also heading 2, make it heading 2. Then the closes, on the closings I mean the yes, closings heading 2. Now on the closings, the first thing we can do is just, let's say this is just kind of list, right? So for lists, we can add some kind of bullets or some tabs for the lists. This is possible. We can add some bullets. We can add another type of bullet. Maybe we can say maybe numbering, or just let's say 1, 2, 3 or something. Just this is a numbering. We can have different kind of the bullets. Let's say this one, or we can even just we can define a new kind of bullet sections. uh, uh, this is the position. Let's select the symbol. Okay, I will say this one. As we see, then we can say okay, now we can insert some kind of bullet points on this list. So the first thing is we can do is this one. Then on this one, on the shopping list, let's say this is heading 1, right? We can edit the headings. This is the heading 1. We can edit on the editing tab. We can edit, or we can find text. We can replace text and just we select and rearrange such things. So if we have some kind of, let's say this is kind of an apple, right? So if I want to change the apple to some other, just replace text, then on the replace, find what? I will say apple. Find apple and replace with, let's say, something else. What we can say is just maybe A, just to show this one. Then find and replace. This is just replace all. Replace all of them. We find only one apple, but this is replaced. Now I will show you what happened here. Now already A is replaced with, the apple is replaced with A. We can find text. If we have the bunch of document, and if we want to change certain word to some specific other word, we can find and replace with this editing. The other thing is for the styles. On have here, let's say this is the vegetables, right? This is heading 2, and on the style I can here on styles I can click here, and this is heading 2, right? Then on this under heading 2 we have some kind of down arrow. Click here and I will say modify. Then first thing is we can change the color of the headings. I can change the color, let's say maybe green. I can say they can be bold. I can change also the size. This is, let's say 18. Then the type, let's say this is Times New Roman. Select. So now when I say click here, all heading 2 are updated. So you see here, I only edit this one, but all heading 2 will be updated. So if we have just 100 or 200 page document, we can easily update all the headings with a single edit. We can make this one easily. Then the next thing, this one is the heading one. We will do the same thing. Just click on the down arrow, then modify. And on the modify, you can check this one to just, let's say blue, and it should be bold. Size will be maybe 20, and the heading type. Okay, some kind of font style. Then click. Now this is the shopping list. This is updated. We can do this thing. Now, as we see here also the heading to the style is updated. So if we do something else here, let's say here, I will click back. So let's say the clothing, the vegetables, fruits, say other stuffs, maybe just some others. This is another list, others. Then if I want to make it, okay, others, okay, it should be, okay. Now copy, then when I say heading to, this is already, because already I set the style for heading to, this is in green, and the size and the font style will be added. If I need to add some, this is just shopping list. Then the other thing is just hobbies. Let's say some kind of hobbies. If I want to list some kind of hobbies. Okay. Now for hobbies, I can select hobbies, and if I cite this one heading 1, what it should be, the blue, and this one, this heading 1, and the hobbies and the shopping list are have the same kind of headings, and this kind of headings are is just to add some extra functional addings on the Microsoft Word. We can convert to PDF. We can share this one to Outlook with email or something. We can ask for signatures. Someone, if we have a document and somebody should be sign on this one, we can ask for or request for signatures on Microsoft Word. Then this is about the home tab. Then I will move to the insert. On insert, the first thing that we can do is just we can insert a cover page. Now I have just some kind of document. We have such kind of a document. Then we need to add a cover page. So when I click here on the down side arrow button, we have different styles of the page with the cover page. It has its own different uh, cover page styles. Then we can edit actually. I will select the one that I need. Then it is inserted the cover page on the front page before the document. We have already the cover page. We can add school title, document, everything. Document style. This is just tutorial. Tutorial on MS Word. MS Word. We can do whatever we want. We can, if we have to just some kind of logos, we can add logo, or just we can change the color of the page or something stuff. Let's say if we don't need this part, I can click on this part, then I can delete this one with a box uh, arrow. So we can delete, or just we can, if we need it, we can also undo it. Here we have two functionality. We call this one as undo and redo. If I say undo, already I delete, right? When I say undo, it just comes back. If I say redo, it will be removed because it was removed before. Now I will say undo. So we can change everything. Then we can insert the cover page here. This is about cover page. Then Next, we can insert some blank pages. So if I need some blank page between two different pages, let's say between the cover page and this page, I can click before this line, then I can insert some blank page. I will say blank page. So between the cover page and here is the cover page, here is the page that I wrote before. So it inserts some blank page. So I can write whatever I want here. Some just texts that I need in between. So we can put also some page break. This is just to break page. Let's say here I have some, okay. On this page, I have some texts or some document here. If I need to break after this one, let's say I will put here, then if others should be on the next page, I will put the cursor next to the last letter, then I will click on the page break. That one that breaks after this one, it breaks to the next page because it contains from the first one. Now the others is on this next page. We can also use such page breaks. After the page break, we can also here on insert tab, we can also insert some tables. If we need some table, we can select such type. As we see here, this is the number of row and columns, 3 by 3, 4 by 5 by 6, 6 by 7, whatever we want. We can insert, let's say, if I want 5 by 3, then I will click here. Then it inserts a table. Then we can write whatever we want on the table. The next thing, or the other thing is just when we insert a table, now on this tab we have some design tab, or the table design is just added. On this case, we can have, this one is just, we have circles. This is just to adjust the type of the circle. We can remove the verticals and we have only have the rows, or just we have only two columns. We can edit this one. This is just to design the table, the number of headers, the rows, and the other stuff. The next thing is just we can also for the table we can also insert. This is to insert a table, or we can also draw a table. We can say draw table, then we can draw the table. Then on the table we can draw whatever the line we want. We can add the number of columns that we need, the number of rows by just clicking on stop. When we see the pen, this pen sign, we are on drawing and we can draw. Even we can do some kind of diagonals, such kind of diagonals if we need such kind of tables. We can do such a table. So, and this one, when we see this is an additional tabs, design tab and the layout tab. Now we are on the layout tab. In this layout tab, what we can do is we can erase some part of the table. We can delete the table or just cell or the row or column. We can insert rows, we can insert columns, we can split cells, then this is a splitted table. There are different functionality. Let's say for delete, if I want to delete this line, I can say delete, or maybe this is easier to use an eraser. We can click on erase, and in eraser, okay, then you can click on the line that erases the line which is not necessary here. The next is we can delete the on the delete, we can delete cells, delete column, or delete rows, or we can also delete the whole table. If I select this one, if I okay and select this on the delete table, if I select, let's say select first this table. Now I am selecting this table, then I can click here and I can delete the table. Already the table is deleted. It's possible to delete the table. The other thing is we can select this one on the layout tab. We can, let's say, I will select this row, only this row, and if I say delete and delete row, we will have only two rows now because I delete the row. If I want to delete the column, one of the columns, I can click, select the column that I want to delete, click here on the down arrow, then click column. Now the column is deleted. We can delete column, we can insert. If we need to add some kind of rows, let's say I will select this kind of row, and if I want to add row here, this one inserts a row above this row B. Let's say here, okay, let me first say this is row A, this is row B. Now if I select this one and insert row above, I will have some row between A and B, like this one between A and B, or let's say this one undo and insert below. Now we insert below B, which is just AB, and we can say this one is just C. Below. For columns, I can, let's say, click this column, the last column, then insert to the left. If I insert to left, then I insert to the left, or we can also insert from the right. Just insert from left, insert from the right. So this is the column that I want. So when I say insert from left, it inserts this one. Insert from right, it inserts the right one. So insert from left, insert from right. It's also possible to do this one. The next thing is just on the layout tab, we can say the split cells. Let's say if I want to split this cell, I can say the first, okay, let's say first the split cell. I have to click on this one, then I will say split cell. Split this cell to two columns or end with one row, if which means just draw here a line, or we can say maybe two columns with two rows. I will say okay. As you see, that was one cell. Now it has two columns and two rows. It's updated to this different number of rows and different columns. It's possible to do this one to split cell, column, or we can say split table. If I want to split a table, let's say click this one, and if I say split table, it splits the table into two. I will say split table. As we see here, the first one, this is one table, this is the next table. And we can split a table into two if we want, if we have a large table, and if we plan to make it two tables, two, three, whatever we want, we can split table in such ways. The other thing we can do is just, I will say undo this one because I don't want to split the table. Then on the layout we can do is just the out of it, which is just for the size. If it was not fitted, now out of it with content, out of it is content means which is this size of the document, the text, auto size with the windows, I can say this is auto size. If it was not just sized or fit to the window, it will fit to the window. We can even change the height and the width of the document here. I mean the table here. That's also possible. Then the next thing is just to adjust this one. These tabs are used to adjust the position of the text. Now the text is to the right and to top. Now if I use this one, it will shift to the center on vertically. I mean just I will select the whole text to apply to all of the texts. Now I will apply this one. As we see here, the texts are now centered, but to the right. When I click here, they are centered both vertically and horizontally. The first one is user to just adjust horizontally to right, center, then I mean left, center, right. The bottom ones are just left, center, right, but bottom. This one is to the center vertically. When we go to this one, this is just to the vertical alignment. Top, center, bottom. When we go horizontal, right, left, center, right. So where I am here, it is both center for horizontal and both center for vertical. We can adjust text positions in such tabs on the layout. This one just this is just cell margins. We can adjust the margin of the cell for this is just each of the margins possible. That is also we can also have some kind of formula. We can convert some texts to tables and stuff such kind of. So if we want to merge, if I don't want to these lines, I can select this one and I can say merge cells. If I say merge cells, this is now one cell. We can merge cells, we can split cells, we can insert, we can delete, and we can erase some unwanted parts. We can make it alignment center, right, or left. This is to in one of the functions of insert, which is just about table. Now, the next one I will move to the next one, which is just pictures. We can insert also pictures. We can insert pictures from our device if we have some kind of text or pictures in our computer. We can insert from the device or we can insert from stock. This is from the system from the online image from their image stocks. I will insert one of the images. Let's say, okay, let's say this image, maybe, okay, this one, come. Now we insert the image of the cow from stock. Now we have the image. For the image, when we are on the image tab, now since it is image, now we have another tab, which is the picture format. This is the picture and we need to format the picture. From here, we have remove the background for this one. We can remove background of the image. Let's say if I want only the cow, I can remove the background by clicking here. Now, as we see here, the one which are in pink color will be removed. Not need to keep some changes, keep changes. Then I can click here, and here mark areas to keep, is not to remove, mark areas to remove. So I will say mark areas to keep, and I will click here. Now I can say maybe leave here some of the legs of the cow. Then I can select the areas that I need to keep, and or I can say mark a, to remove. I can remove this area also if I need. I can remove this part and only keep the cow. Yes, I can remove this part also. Now then I can say keep changes. As we see here, we only keep the cow now. You can change the background of the image by this way. Okay, the first thing is this one. I will say second thing is just from this picture format. This is the background. Now we can correct the brightness of the brightness or the light brightness of the image. We can change the brightness from the this part. We can change the color. We can change the color to this one or whatever we want. It's possible to change the color. Some we can add some artistic effects on the image, maybe some pencil image or something like that. Some artistic effects, and we can change the background. I mean the transparency, which means just if we put the text, the image behind the text or just in front of the text, we can add some transparency to see what is behind the image. So it's possible to add also the transparency for images or for some the pictures. And we can compress the image, we can change the picture, or we can resize the picture. These are put some backgrounds, and we can have the some borders for the image. We can add some borders with different colors. So let's say I will add this kind of image with some border, and even it's possible to change the color of the border. Here, click here on the down button. We can change the size of the line or the border, line thickness. Then we can also change the color to some kind of color. We can also change the type of line on the border text. This is the picture effect. We can add some picture effect. We can make some reflection of the cow or something. Let's say if I put some reflection, you can see here the reflection of the cow on the other page. Or somehow we can also resize. We can resize the picture to see more on the same page. Effect, sorry. I will say it again. Yeah, now we fit this one. We see some reflections, or maybe we can add some from reflection. I will say none. Then from the reflection, I can add some shadow or something. We can scroll, soft edge. These are the 3D images, 3D effects or shadows or whatever you want. I will say some kind of shadow, let's say. Okay. Let's say such kind of shadows. So it's possible to add shadow and effects, other effects on the image. The next thing is just this is to we can also rotate the image if we want. We can flip the image as we see here. We can flip vertically, we can flip horizontally, and vertically we can rotate to some kind of 90-degree, to right, to left. We can rotate the image, and we can crop also the image if we want. Crop, we can crop the image to the shape that we want. I can crop this one, so now it is cropped, and we'll say rotate this one too. Yeah, now as we see here, it is just cropped. And the next thing is we can do on the images, we can crop, we can rotate, and we can change even the size. Just for the crop, we can change the shape, the size, I mean the horizontal, the width and the height of the image. The next thing, even we can cut the image to some kind of shape, some specific shape. Let's say if I want to shape this one with circle, I can say, now as we see, we can shape the image with circles or whatever you want, a different shape image for the picture. That's possible. This is about the picture. On the insert tab, we have, and the next thing is on just shapes. On shapes, I will, okay. On shapes, we can insert different kind of shape. let's say I can, it's okay, rectangle, some kind of rectangle. We can insert such shape. Okay, let's move to the new page. Okay, I have the shape. We can insert whatever shape you want. On the shape, the first thing what we have now a new shape, which is the shape format. The previous was picture format for pictures. Now it is just shape. We have the shape format. On shape format, the first thing we can do is just this is the kind of shapes we can select. We can select one of the shapes here, or even we can draw different shapes that we want or different lines. These are to draw using this one. We can for just make the shape that we want to. So as an example, I will use this one. As we see here, this is some rounded rectangle, and clicking on this the orange button, we can change the roundness of the rectangle. This is more rounded, and if I rotate, move this one, it is just zero rounded. This is a maximum rounded. We can change the roundness. This is, and we can change the shape of the outline shape or the outline color. We can change the outline, which means just the contour of the image. We can change the contour. Let's say make it red to make it visible. We can change the shape fill, which is the fill for the image. We can change the color of the fill, or we can even make no shape, no fill shape, or we can make it like this one. Okay. The other thing here, what we do on the shape format is just we can change this one. We can do the image. We can make the border. We can change the colors or the line to broken hidden line or something. The other thing we can do here is just click on the image, then edit shape. On the edit shape, we can change the edit points. Using these edit pointers, now when I click on the edit pointers, we have these 6 pointers. So by clicking on the point, we can rotate to whatever we want, and we can change the shape to whatever. Let's say I want to make it like this one. Then I will click here. I want to make it like this one. Sorry. Okay. This one, click here, change this one, then shape format on shape, edit shape, then edit points. I will click here and I will select this one, shape this. Whatever we want, we can make these shapes. We can have some kind of edit shape, the other edit pointers. I can edit this point to whatever I want. Then on this point, I can make it more round or just whatever we want. So, which means just we have some such kind of shape. So by using the edit points, we can change the shape to whatever the shape that we want. And after this one, we have just the shape. And the next thing is just on the field here, click on this one, right click on this one and shape format. By shape format, when I say shape format here, the panel updates here for changing the shape. Here we have the fill and the line. First, I will click on the fill. It is no fill because it is not filled now. I can fill with solid fill, some kind of with solid fill, or maybe gradient fill. The gradient fill means just we can change the color. I don't know, these 4 points for the gradient. I will click remove this two of them and I will leave this one just so we can select two different colors and it fills with gradient. Let's say this is just complete white and this one I can say maybe green. Now you can see this is from the dark green to the light green. You can fill the shape with some kind of, or we can even change if we want, we can make it this one different color, maybe orange or something. So we can fill with this gradient fill, this kind of shapes. Or the other thing is it's possible also with picture or just some texture fill with some kind of texture. We can change here the texture fill. We have the default textures or the pictures that can be the background for this one. Or we can also use some pattern fill. On the pattern fill, as we see here, we can use different patterns to fill the shape. Or on the picture fill, we can also just insert our own picture. These are the default pictures. We can also insert our picture. Maybe I will use stock images. We can also use some images from the background that you have, or I mean the images from your documents or your PC files. I will fill with this image. I can fill with this different image. Now I fill this one. You see here. So This is about the image, I mean the shapes. We can edit the shapes, we can change the fill with some gradient fill or the picture fill or maybe some solid fill or this it can be unfilled. We can change the shapes of the shapes of the dimensions by using the edit endpoints, or we can change the outlines, the outline color or the outline. This is just the line which says the line fill. On the line, we can, this is just the solid fill because that is red. We can also use the gradient fill for the backgrounds. So for the gradient, if I say this one is just dark red to some kind of, let's say this one to blue or maybe blue, okay. So I will remove the one in between. 2 endpoints is enough. So let's see this one, then apply. See here, we have some kind of red, then here we have the blue outlines. So we can change the outline colors even from the gradient, from solid line, or it can be also the gradient line. We can make it this no outline. That's possible also. No outline to filling the text picture. Okay, if we have some kind of text on the image, we can also just change the text outline, but now we don't have text. So this is about the insert on the shapes. We can change such kind of shapes. We can do this kind of shapes on our image. Okay, now I will move to the new page. Okay, the next thing is on the insert, we can also insert some icons. On the icon, we can click on icon. These are some default icons which are presented on the Microsoft Word 365. We can select the icon that we are interested. Let's say this one maybe, okay. We can insert the icon. Now we have the icon. We can use different icons, and on the icon we can do the same thing. We can change on the graphics format. This is graphics, and on the graphics format we have just we can change the graphics field, the color for the graphics. We can change the graphics field to the color that we are interested. We can add some graphic outlines. We can add some outlines for this one, or the red or something like for this graphics. We can change the graphics outline or the graphics effect. We can some reflections, some shadows. Let's say I will say some kind of shadows. Let's say this one, maybe. Okay, maybe this one. So we can add shadows. We can change the graphics field. We can do whatever we want. We can rotate this one. We can align the center to something. This is just the alignment for the page. We can align this one. We can crop. We can change the size. This is possible. We can also convert this one to shape because this is just a graphics. We can convert this one to picture to shape. Now it is just the shape format. As this is shape, so what we can do whatever we do previously for the shapes. What we did is just for the filling. Let's say we can change this one to graphics field for the line or for the field. That's for the line. For the field, we can change the picture field. Let's say okay, this is the solid field. This is just the picture field. We have the previous picture, you remember, right? But we can change the insert with a different picture. Let's say maybe from stock pictures. From the stock, we can change the different color. Let's say this picture. Okay, maybe I will prefer something else. Okay, let's say this some kind of cinematures. As we see here, we can change the picture because now this is not graphics. No, I change this one to just the shape. So I can do whatever I do in shapes. Okay, this is to insert some kind of shapes. We can also insert some 3D models. This is for the image, the icons. After the icons, we can also some kind of 3D models. If we have 3D model on our device, we can say this device and we load the 3D model in our device, or we can just use some stock 3D models. For this tutorial, I will use some kind of stock models. Let's say this one, 3D buildings. Okay, maybe I can use this one, just kind of some kitchen cabinet or something. Yeah. Now I have this 3D model. You have now this one, the rotation, the icon for rotating this one, 3D model. As we see here, we can rotate and put whenever we want. We can rotate and this can make it more lower. I can change the shape for this one. For this one, we can do this is the 3D model. We can add some. Okay, this is just we can rotate to the design that we need. Or we in the 3D model, these are the models that we can do. This is just some kind of, we can bring to, if we have a text, we can bring it to forward to backward between the texts or something like that. We can check this. This is just the alignments. That is just, we can rotate this way. That's the back side. This is the front, or we can put it whenever we want. So we can use some kind of, we can also insert some 3D models in Microsoft Word. Okay. Then on the insert, this is from about the 3D, and we have also the smart art. In the smart art, what we can do is just we can insert some kind of shapes. Just if we have some kind of flow chart or some cycles, this we can use some kind of cycles or rotations, this kind of cycles or something. There's some hierarchical things, something to list or some kind of ideas. Let's say if I want to use this one, some kind of steps, we can insert such kind of shapes. For these shapes, we can change the color. But this one is smart art design, and we have the formats. We can also format the outlines and something, the outline, the shape outlines, shape fill, and the other stuff. And the smart outline design, we can change the outline. The first thing, we can change the color. I can use this one. There's different kind of, let's say this one, this color. I can add some texts. Let's say this one is just A. This one is B. Like we can do such a kind of smart artists. This is C. I would say this is D. So now A, B, C, D. So we can select, and we can insert some kind of, on such shapes we can insert, can here we have such kind of shapes. We can add some shape. Let's say I will select B, and in the B we can add shape after or before. Just after means between B and C, before means between B and A. I can say after, so it inserts between B and C. Now we have a new circle, or this a new part, or a new shape. Or I can select also B, and we can select this one, and I can say add shape before. It inserts some kind of shape between A and B. If we forget something, then we can easily add the shape that we want. So we can edit these things. We have different, maybe we can make, now it looks just some kind of 3D, right? We can also change this one to some different shapes that we are interested in. So we can do this one, as we see here. Just these are the different options that comes with this one. So I would prefer this one maybe. Okay, now we can change the colors, we can change the shapes, we can move up and move up. We can say move up and move down. The difference for move up and move down, I will say move up. Okay, now let's say this one, this is A, this is, let's say C, this is B. Okay, now if this is A, B, this is C, this is, it should be D, let's say D, this one E, make it more consecutive. I will say this one as just F. Okay, now if we have this one, and now the order between B and C is different. I need A, then B, then C, right? So to do this one, we can click on C, and I can say this one just move down. If I say move down, B and C swaps. Now I have B and C. If I have this one, and if it should be the reverse, move up, it swaps between A and C. So we can edit the shape, the smart art that we have. We have different smart arts. We can, this is just as an example, or we can in the insert tab for this smart artist, we can also insert some kind of lists, some kind of cycles, some kind of hardcore matrix in diamonds, pictures, or this one. These are the different hierarchies that can be possible. We can insert one of the shapes here and edit according. The next thing we can insert was, this is just some kind of charts. On the chart, we can have some kind of bar chart or the column charts. We can the line graphs, kind of this one, the line graphs. We can have some pie charts, bar charts. We can some kind of area. We can have some XY graphs. We can also have some kind of map on stock. We have different kind of shapes or the graphs. We can insert, if we have some kind of data in Excel, we can insert such kind of text. I will show you one of this one. Let's say maybe maps. Okay. For the maps, if we want to insert some kind of such kind of map, I will say this one. Okay. Now for the maps, it also pop-ups with the data. This is the map and this is the Excel data. This is the sample data. So it has some kind of, let's say this is just some kind of country. This is some country. This is just, let's say, maybe population. This is just the population. The population in millions. This is the population in millions. So United States, it has 8 million, the Mexico 10 million, Brazil 7 million. This is just Argentina 9 million, Australia 12 million, China 11 million. This one India 9 million, France, this is the United Arab Emirates, this is Namibia. So as we see here, the one which are just have some values are just with different colors arranged between 6 and 12. This is a graph. The first thing we can update the value of the data. Let's say for USA it was 8. I will say this is 12. Then what it should be. Now, as you see, the United States map is just mapped to the maximum. We can add some end of text. Okay, I will add some kind of data from this one. I will add some data. Let's say 14, maybe Ethiopia. Ethiopia. Then I will give the value to 13. Okay, now I will say this one, save the data, but now still Ethiopia is not just included on the graph because I didn't select the map. So I will select the data again, and on the data tab, if we wrote it, I didn't see because now Ethiopia is not added because this is a new data. I can select again the data. I can select here to which includes Ethiopia. Now I will say this one is, yeah, okay. Now here Ethiopia is also marked here. Which means just it is updated. We can update the data or the graph as we want. So we have the data, we can update the data, we can add some graph title chart. This is, I would say, population, maybe just some kind of population, the population data, what we want, we can say. This is just kind of bar, the legend, this is just the serious one. On the add button, it says chart title, we add the population to the data label. We can also click here in the data label. Now all of the data are labeled just on, the data should be just labeled on each of the points. Each of them are just labeled. We can remove the legend. This was the legend. Now we can add the legend. Okay. And this one is just to change the type of the map. We can change the map with different colors. Position of the map, the shape of the, I mean the size of the map, or we can add some kind of maps on the data. So we can edit the data here and we can select the data. After editing, we should select to include to the map. We can change that kind of, we can change the style of the map. This one to different population. Okay, this was map. So I can change this one to, let's say stock. If I, okay, it couldn't change. That's not active. Now I can change to this bar. I can change to the bar graph. I can say here. Here you see just Ethiopia, Namibia, this one. The graph is just changed. So we can change from one to the other. This one was, now I can click here and right click this one on the chart design. So we can change the type. We can say this one is just to map. So now we have the map as we see here. Okay. This is what we can do in the chart. We can have different charts, this kind of chart, category 1, category 2, different categories. We can have different kind of data. If we have some, which means we have different columns, the other column that was for this data, we have this data. I will change once the data, edit data. Okay, this is just selected for Ethiopia only. No, because it is now just the map for only Ethiopia. If I want to have, if I select for the whole map, it works for all of them now, but I only select Ethiopia. It's only for Ethiopia. We can do such kind of charts in Word. We can insert such kind of graph or chart or just some kind of data. We can also add some screenshots. Okay, if we want to add some screenshots to our document, we can also click here click on screenshot, then screen clipping. Now we have this screen. If I want to click on this screen, if I want some parts, then I will select the part that I'm interested in and click that. Now it inserts a screenshot from the page. If we are interested to some new pages, okay, open the page that we are interested to screenshot, then go to Word, then go to screenshots. Here we click on the insert, then screenshot. On screenshot, this is the window that is active, so we can go to select. Then on this one we can select the parts that we are interested in, and we can also insert to Word with screenshots. So far we see to insert the cover page, the blank page, the break page, or we can insert table, pictures, shapes, icons, 3D models, some smart artists, some charts, screenshots. Here also some advanced functionality or to add the links. If we have just a bunch of documents, let's say 100 pages, if we want to refer something on page 90 in page 10, we can add some links which will link the two different pages. We can add some bookmarks, some texts we can add some cross references. So we can just for this one, these are not the beginner level topics. So you can check the next video on these topics if you are interested to links, the bookmarks, or the cross reference. We can add some comments on the word text. This is just for comments. Some comments. So if I want to add some comment on this one, I will say some add comment, comment one, comment one. I will say just comment one sent. Now this comment is just added here. So the other guy can check the comment and just it has the name of the one who comments and the contents that are written on the document. On the comment, then we can add also the headers and footers. Just the header and the footers are just kind of the header is there for the title. I will come say click on the headers. Maybe this kind of different kind of headers. We can select the one which is interesting. Maybe some kind of titles or author name. Okay, let's say this one. We can say the tutorials on the MS Works, on the Microsoft Works. Okay, now I add the headers. Here we have the two. I click on one of the headers, one of the pages, but I have all the headers in all of the pages. We can add so such kind of headers. We can add headers. Then we can also add or insert the footers. The footers are the texts on the bottom of the page. We can edit the footer. We can have some different kind of footers. We can have the date or the page numbers and different things. You can select one of them, or you can edit even the footer by yourself if you want. And if we insert a footer and we think that footer is not necessary, we can remove the footer again. It is also possible to remove. So I will select one of the footers, maybe. Okay, this one. This is a good one. This is now page 7 of 7. This is a kind of footer and also a page number. But we can also add some kind of other texts in the footer. This is also possible. The next thing is just we can insert some kind of page numbers. So if we didn't insert the footer, we can also insert the page numbers on top of the page, bottom of page, on the page margins, on the current page only. We can also format the page numbers. We can also format the page numbers, which is just, it should start from 0, it should start from 1 for the page. Or the other thing is we can change the number of type of the page that should be inserted. It should be letters or some Roman numbers or some just Arabic numbers or something like this one. We can include. And it's possible. We can, if we click this one, include on the chapter number, it will, if we have different chapters, it says just chapter 1, just 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 or something. Or if we are interested in the chapter numbers, it says 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. If we are not interested in chapter numbers, it says just 1, 3. So since I don't have such chapter numbers, I will only say just chapters, the page numbers. That 7 is the maximum, then 7 of 7. If here I'm on 6 of 7, and we know how many pages we have, and also we know the active page numbers. So page 7 of 7. We can insert also a page on the insert. We can insert some text boxes. Actually, if we want to add, let's say, if I want to add some text on side of this text, I can easily insert the text box. Then I can have the text box here. I can move the text box to whatever I want, and I can add some texts that I'm interested in. So we can add such kind of text boxes whenever we are interested. So I can shrink this one not to cover the page. You can shrink this one. I can shrink the content. So I can edit also the line, the text box color or something like this one. It should be just, I can highlight the text, the whole text, this one, or I can just fill the text. It should be just filled or it should be unfilled. The outline could be some kind of, okay. This one is just for the weight. We can change the weight of the outline, the kind of the dashed line. This is, it should be changed. So we can also add some kind of texts on the pages that we are interested in. We can add some kind of texts. Okay, that is all about insert, I guess. This is for the insert. We can also add some word arts. That's already we see on the home for the some of the comments. If we are interested, we can add some kind of word arts insert. Then on the word art, we can select one of the word arts we are interested on the comment. This is the text that we are interested. So if we want to some fancy things or some just decoratives on our document, we can add such kind of word arts. This is all about the insert. We can insert some signature lines. We can insert some date and time. It's possible to insert the date and time. Let's say this is Sunday, November 12, 2023. If we are interested on these things, we can insert some signature lines from the marks. This one. If we want to ask someone to sign on our document, we can add some signature line and we can add the dates, the date under the signature. Okay, I will move to the next big topic, which is on the insert, which is the more necessary thing, which is just the equations and symbols. We can insert equations in this format. I can click on the equations. It inserts some type of equation here. So on the equations, we have different symbols here. On the equation tab, we have different other symbols. It's which says fractions, the scripts, radicals, integrals, large operators, brackets, functions in itself. Here we have, here is the equation, which is ink equation. These are the ink equation we can write with our ink, and that changes to equation. This, the Unicode and the LaTeX and these functionalities are more advanced functionalities, which means just if we have some kind of mathematical equations in LaTeX, we can shift to Word, or we can, if we have equation in Word, we can change to the LaTeX equation and can copy and paste one to the other format. This is some advanced functionality to relate Word with the LaTeX. So I will show you the fundamental ones. If I want to write some kind of fractions, I can click on the fraction and select the one that I am interested. Let's say if I want to write some equations, let's say 1 over 2. I can insert in such a way. Maybe size is too small to see. Okay, I can check this one. 1 over 2. If I want to say plus on the equation, I can, here we have different signs, or on the keyboard we can add some kind of plus, something. Let's say on the plus, if I want to write some kind of subscripts, let's say x square or something, I can, if I want to say x square, I can click in this one. I can write here x and this is square. Square. Now click on next to leave the exponent part. Then let's say this is equals to some function. Let's say some kind of radical value. If I want to insert some radicals, the first one is just radical something. This is square root, what we call the square root of 2. Then if we know different number of roots, then I will click here, and this is, let's say, third root, the third square root of some kind of 14 or 18, something. We can insert such kind of mathematical equations. First one. The next thing is just we can also insert on these equations, and I will show you how this is about the integrals. Until the integrals, we can insert some kind of integrals, I mean radicals. On the integrals, we have some indefinite integrals or some definite integrals. Just the definite means we have the boundary to integrate, or without boundary. We can use this one without boundary. We can use these two with boundary. Just these are the difference between these two is here. You can put limits kind of in the on this next to the integral sign. Or this here we can put the integral, the limits on the bottom and top of the integral sign. Or we can have double integral or triple integral, or just kind of the contour integrals, contour lining, or what we call the line integrals. or the contour surface integrals, or this volume integrals, or which is just contour integrals, triple integral on the contour or the boundary of some kind of surface. We can select one of them. Let's say if I want to have some triple integral with boundaries, if I can select this one, the boundary, it should be just from 1 to some kind of value, which is the line integral from 7. Then this should be what? Let's say 3x dx. That's all. It should be equals to some value, some kind of values. Or I can insert also another kind of equation. On insert, then equation, we can, this is about the integrals. These are about the large operators, which are the summations, product, or something, union, integration, I mean the intersection or something. This is about the summation. Summation is, this is the product, this is the union for intersections and some other large operators. We can use such kind of operators also. We can insert them. Let's say the summation of some function, summation of x from 1 to 100. Let's say if this one is equals to 237, what will be x or something like this? We can insert such kind of mathematical equations. We can also insert some annotations, or okay, on insert this one. These are the brackets and some functions. On brackets, we have different brackets. We have normal brackets, square brackets, some curly brackets, or some triangular, or what we call it, bra and cats, actually. Some kind of square brackets. These are square brackets, some kind of triangular brackets, braces, or square brackets. These are some kind of the mathematical expressions to approximate the limit to the lower, to the upper, to the lower value, to the upper value. This is the absolute value. This is just the norm, or the other functions. So these are different kind of brackets. We can also have single brackets or only on one side, or we can have some kind of lists or stacks, or just different cases. We can also use such kind of brackets. We can, if we have such kind of, let's say, one of only one bracket with this bracket. Okay, in some brackets, this is just this file. The value is 5. Sorry, it should be 5. Just if x less than 0, else when I say enter, just the bracket extends. Maybe 10. Else if the value of 0 is less than x, and x less than some value of maybe 10 or something, or maybe just 2 or something value. So if whenever I say click, it's just the bracket extends, and we can say kind of cases. We can, this is just 0, else. I will say else, just otherwise. So I can have such kind of listings in equations. We can insert such kind of equations, or we can have some kind of functions. This is just to insert sine function, cosine function, sec, cosec, cot, inverse function, sine inverse, cos inverse, tan inverse, or something, some hyperbolic functions, cos hyperbolic, sine hyperbolic, or the inverse hyperbolic functions, sine hyperbolic inverse, cos hyperbolic inverse, sec hyperbolic inverse. Such functions can be also inserted in the function. And so these are the accents. These are the accents. Here on the accents, the first thing, when we have some kind of accents in different languages, we have different lengths. Let's say we have with accent like that. If we have the dot accent, let's say x dot. Sometimes we use just y derivative with this kind of accents. Or when we have, let's say in mathematics, we have vectors. When we insert vectors, we should have some arrow on the top right. So for such kind of vectors, we can have such kind of an arrow. So we can say x, this is now x vector. Or we can have some kind of other annotations or accents with on both sides if we want to describe something. Let's say this is now on the function. Let's say this is x squared. Okay, I will select other functions, some kind of mathematics for square. Now I will say this is x squared. Then here I will say x squared plus y square. Again, I will insert the script. Then this is y square, which is equals to, let's say, 25. Now, this is equation of a circle, right? So we can say this is a circle. Let's say such kind of mathematical equations. We can insert such kind of mathematical equations also. Just so we have some under bracket, then we can make this one as a text. If we want the one which says circle, we can make this one as on the home section. We can make this one italic, normal text, cut the color or something. So we can also describe part of the mathematical equations with such kind of equations, such kind of descriptions in the accents. These equations are included in the accents on the insert in equation. These are on the accents. We have some kind of limit and logarithms, logarithm functions, log x, log on the limits or the maximum or ln, something, these functions. Let's say if we want to say, if we want to rewrite the base log 25 in base 10, we can write in such way, or we can insert logarithm without base. Here, this one, just log 24. Log 24, just without base. We can insert ln or something other functions as we see here on these functions, ln, log or something. The other is here we have some operators. On the operators, equal to, not equal to, some definitions as we see here. These are different operators, so we can use this yields, this gives, this is equivalent with something, or this implies these different values, plus or equals to, which is equals to sign. This is the definition, minus or equal to or something like this. We can have such kind of operators, and we can also insert the matrix. On the matrix, we have this different kind of matrix equations. These are matrix something by something. This is 1 by 2, 2 by 3 or something matrix. These are the lines we want to add in the dots. If we have such kind of matrix, I can have now 2, this is 4, this is 9, ax, the b, g, d, something like this. These are the values. And if we want to have the bars on the sides of the matrix, what we do is just first we go to the brackets, we select the vertical bars, this one, the absolute value side. Here, then inside this one, we can insert the matrix. As we see here, now we have the matrix side. So if we want to enter the other matrix, if these are 3 by 2, right, we can also enter and add the matrix. Here we can insert another matrix, such kind of this one. As we see here, we can change the dimensions here. Click on this one on the matrix, then on the matrix we can click this one. So we can change the size of the matrix as we want, or if we can also insert some kind of hidden lines, some extensions or something in the insert equation. So on the symbols, if we are interested to insert some symbols, in symbol we have different kind of symbols, or we can say more symbols, and we have different kind of symbols here. Let's say if we want to say at, we can insert at here. Yeah. If we want to write some kind of Gmail or something functions in Word, we can say some kind of just some function at gmail.com. We can write the name in at gmail.com. So when we need some such special characters, we can get such special characters on the symbols in insert. Okay, this is all about insert. The next tab is just drag, draw. On the draw tab, we can draw certain shape or line. We can search graphs. This one is to select some parts of the image. I will show you. Let's say if I click here and I change, this is just I click on the down arrow, we can change the color to draw and the width of the pin, just the tip of the drawer. Let's say green, and I can now draw something in green. Just whatever shape I want, I can draw. Then I can select this one. Just click on this hidden circle I mean the broken circle line, which is just to select shape. Click on that and select the parts that I want. Now I select this one, so I can move, I can enter to a new page or do something. This is just selected. I can move to the part that I want. I can replace somewhere. We can change the color. Here we can change the shape format, then select the outline color to a different color. We can change the color. So in the draw tab, we can do this one. And if I am not interested in just one of the drawings, I can use this pencil shape to erase. This is just the eraser. I can erase one of the parts. Then this is also to draw. This is also used to draw. I can draw some parts. These are some thin lines. I can draw this line. These are some just, this is the differences for the drawing. These are for some different kind of drawers. This is just kind of a pencil, which looks pencil, right? So for this one, this the drawing is also just for a pencil. If we need some kind of pencil, as we see, this is not the same as this one, because this is a pencil, this is some kind of marker or just some kind of pen. This is just some kind of highlighter. If we want to highlight something, we can highlight with this. Let's say, let's say this one. Okay, let's insert some kind of text, or okay, text, some kind of text. Okay, I have now this text. I will change this one, the size to, okay, increase the size. Okay, see, we have this text, and if I want to highlight the text, I can say just draw, then this is the marker sign, then I can just highlight text. It didn't cover the text because this is just a highlighter. We can change the color of the highlighter with different color, maybe yellow or something. Just we can add with yellow because that's added to the previous one. It gives some red color. But this is what we can do. Now I will undo all the drawings. Okay. Now we can do this kind of drawings. Draw with touch. That's if we have some kind of touch, we can also draw with just with our hands. I draw now with my hand. It's possible also with touch. If just by touching. Then the next thing is we have the ruler. If we want to measure something, using this ruler, I will click on the ruler. Now, the first thing I can just, by using the mouse, I can rotate this one. Okay, I use the mouse to scroll to different angle. Now I have this angle, then I can draw. Now I will draw the line here. Then again, I can click on the ruler. Then I can rotate this ruler to something 30 degree. Let's say if I want to measure 30 degree, then I can shift the drawer and I can draw here 30 degree with some ruler. Now this is 30 degree. We can do such kind of mathematical angles or something. If it is necessary, we can use the ruler and we can draw some mathematical. We can change the background format if we need some kind of which makes maybe a notebook or something like that. We can do this one. Just can change the background of the page with different. Then the next thing is just we have ink to shapes. We have write some ink with shape or maybe ink to mathematics. I will focus to maths. It pop up some text writing page or just window. We can write, erase, select, and correct, or we can clear here. So I can write here some mathematical equation. It will insert the real mathematical equation. So because this is ink to maths, so let's say x square. I will say x square, then plus, let's say y square. Then just we can do whatever we want, which is equals to x square plus y square, which is equals to 1. Now this is a mathematical equation, x square plus y square, which is equals to 1. So when I say insert, it inserts the mathematical equation. Here is the mathematical equation. Now I can change the equation size. Yes, now I prefer the background none. Okay. So we can insert, we can draw some mathematical equation and we can change to the mathematics. And this is all about the draw. And I will move to the design, the next tab, which is the design. For the design tab, what we can do is just we can change the design of the pages. The position of the title pages, something, this one, the cover pages. Previously, we adjust something on the first page, right? On the first page about the headings or something like this one. So this is what we want manually, but we can also use some kind of the previous, some styles or designs. We can choose one of them. Here they have different kind of styles. We can select one of styles here if we are not interested. So we can just make our style by ourselves. So this is just to change the design. And the next thing on the design is just we can add some watermarks. This is just if we have some document which are more confidential or something. If we have some confidential document, we can add some watermarks which says confidential or something like this one. Or maybe we can write some, if it is just a copy or something, I can say custom watermark. And maybe this is a draft copy. So I will say on the text on confidential draft one. If we have some draft document, we can identify the document by using some kind of watermarks. The watermarks are just some kind of marks which are on the background of all the texts. So I insert on the watermark, it is inserted on all of the pages that we make previously. So we can also insert such kind of watermarks. Then we can change the page color if we want. If we are interested, we can change the page color. That was white previously. So we can change the page color and the page borders. We can also change the page borders. It should be like this one, or we can add some kind of page borders. I can add some page borders, or it should be just some kind of yeah, it should be applied to the whole document. It should be applied to the first section. It can be also first section only. It is all sections all except the first page, or the except the first page. Except the first page, we can add some kind of text. If I say this one is okay, now all of the pages have some kind of borders, page borders. We can add such page borders and such style on the design tab. We can add this kind of tabs. Okay. Now the next thing I will move is to the layout. Okay, on the layout, this is just the general layout of the document. The first thing, we can change the margins on the layout. The margins, right, left, top, and bottom of the margins. We can change the margins to one. These are the different margins. So we can use these different margins. Let's say if I use this one, now the margin will be changed to this one. We can change two different sizes of the margins for the text, or we can custom margin. We can say custom margin. We can put whatever we want to the top, left, right, or bottom. If we write some kind of scientific research papers or something, there should be some specifications to write the document, which has some indentations, the indentation, the page type, the page size, the borders, and the margins, and something specification for. So in such cases, we can specifically we use custom margins or the margins that we want. So we can change the margin on the layout. You can change the orientation of the page, maybe portrait, the one that I use now, or it can be horizontal, which is just a landscape. We can change the page to the horizontal. If we do some kind of certificates or something, mostly they are in landscapes, in horizontal pages, right? So in that case, we can change the orientation to portrait or to landscape. We can change the size of the page. This is just standard one, A4 page. You can make it A3, A1, A5 or something, A1 as we want. We can change the page size here. I am preferring the page, A4 page. And this is about the size. Then we can also have the columns. Just for the columns, what we did is just if we want to write in two columns, I can click here, one column, two column, kind of, let's say for newspapers, if we say mostly they are in three columns or in two columns. So if we want to write the page in columns, we can click on the columns. Now this is created in two columns. As we see on the ruler, we have the first column, then this is the next column. Okay. Let's say if I want to put these lists in two columns, I can select on the layout, then on the columns, and say two columns. this one. Just they have in two columns. If we have more lists, that's all. But this is the column. We can put a page break. Already I showed this one in the home tab. The line numbers, if we want to have some line numbers on the left, we can click here and we have some kind of continuous. If I say continuous, this is line 6, line 7. On the next page, it was 20 right here. So it continues from 21, 22 or something. Or we can say the lines here on the layout and the lines from just refresh each page. So now it has from here it has 1 2, then on this page it has up to 15, right? But on the next page it starts from 1 again, which is just it refreshes in each of the pages. If it is necessary, we can also add some kind of lines. This is for indentation for some of the texts. If I want to indent this text, I can add the indent. Now it has by default it has an indentation of 0.25 from this one to this is just indented, right? But I can indent more this one. I can click here. I can indent more or just indent to the right. I can make it more. This one. Minus 2 left, right. Okay. This is an indentation. We can change the indentation. This is the spacing between. So we can select all the texts we have. Then before something, just these pointers after these points. We can change different 6 points. This is more common one. So before and after, which means just after means between this and this text. Before means between this and this text for this one. Let's say for fruits, after is this one, spacing between fruits and banana. Before is between fruits and the shopping lists. You can change the spacings here also on the layout. The next thing I will move to the references. On references, the first thing what we can do is just we can have the table of contents. Maybe for table of contents, I will add some other contents to make it more clear. Have this kind of lists, maybe this hobbies or something. Okay, I will say this one is just insert. This is for the insert. We can have some insert. For insert, I will say this one is just for insert. I can say from the whole tab, this is the heading one. Just insert. After this one, insert figures, insert shapes, insert this one, the icons already, the shapes, this one for the inserts, then the design tab on maybe this is about the inserts, this is for equations, this is all about the inserts. Okay, let's say let's have some kind of equation maybe. This is now under inserts and I will say this one is just heading 2. Now the table of contents means just we can have the contents on the list of tables here. I can have some, okay. Click here on the references. I will click on the table of contents. Then I can select the style that I want. Table of contents, this one. So the shopping list, the hobbies, the insert are on the first one, which means heading 1. The next one, heading 2, are just in the repeat fruit center. They are fruits, vegetables, the fruits, vegetables, clothes, others, and also here the equations under insert are in the last one. So we can insert such kind of table of contents. Now I have the table of contents under the insert. After insert the equations, I can add some kind of texts. Maybe this is some drawing, right? So I can say here draw. This is to draw on the other tab, which is just this is out of the insert. So on the draw, it should be heading 1. I can click on home, then heading 1. I update this one to heading 1. Then under draw, I can, okay. So then again, I can go back to the table of contents. Here I have table of contents. In the reference table of contents, then I have this one, table of content. Click on this one. Here I have the update table of contents because now I add some kind of content. Click here. It has update page numbers only or update entire table. After update page numbers only, which means just if we didn't add any content, any headings, but the page is just updated. But we can say update only page number. If I say update entire table, which means if we have new headings, it will add. Now it should add the new one. I add update entire table. Then I will say okay. Now this is just added to the table of content. This is to this one. Or we can also use this one, update table, the entire table, or page only, that's the same thing. Or on the table of content, we can update the table of content. The next thing is insert the footnote. So in the reference, we can, the footnote is just if we have some kind of text, I will say the footnote. Before footnote, this is just reference, under the reference. And I will say this one is heading 1. We will do it together. Then the next one is the footnote. This should be, I will say this one is footnote heading 2. It should be heading 2. Now for the footnote, after this one, let's say if we have some kind of statement, it's MS Word, Microsoft Word, one of the MS 360 output, 365 package and stuff. We can say we have something text, but the footnote means if we want to put some kind of definition or something for the Microsoft Word. Let's say if I click on the Microsoft Word, then I click on reference, then insert the footnote. When I say the footnote, I have a place to. Now here I can write about the MS Word. MS I use. I can say here I use MS Microsoft 365 version. Mostly the footnote is written in sometimes some of the writers use the footnote to write the references, or if we want to define some word, if we can write the definition under the footnote. So we can. The next thing is MA tech tips. If I have another statement on the MA tech tips, I can insert the footnote. Now this is the second one because I have the first footnote. In the second footnote, I will show established in 2023, let's say. Now, such kind of footnotes, we can insert such kind of a footnote in the Microsoft Word. On the reference, we can also insert citations. This is the money source. On the style, we can change one of the styles that we are interested. I will prefer the IEEE. This is the bibliography to put at the end. I want to put some kind of reference here. I will click on the point that I want to put the reference. Then I click on citation. I can add new site source, or just I can add the new placeholder, but I will say then add new source on the reference. So here first we should add the name of the author. I will say Jack. Maybe he is Jack. Then we can add the title. Title is about tutorial on a Microsoft Word. On the Microsoft Word, it will be the title. Then the year, this is 2023. The article site, then the city, it could be some kind of city one. Then on the publisher, I will can say write IEEE. Let's say IEEE. Now, when I say this one, okay, I have now the citation one because this is the first citation that I put. If I can do something, I can copy the text again and use the same text. If we have another text, just assume we have these are different texts, and if we want to put the next reference here, again, say just click on the citation, then add new citation. John will be the author. The title is tutorial 2. Tutorial 2. See the title, we can add the year, maybe 2015. Then we can add the city. This is city 2. And the publisher, let's say MA Tech Tips. Now I have the second reference. That's all. Now I have the references. I can insert the references. Then the next thing is just I need to put the bibliography, right? So on the last page, now I click here to page break to have the last one. On this page, I can insert now on the reference here. The citation is on the bibliography. I can insert the bibliography. Now I have two, I insert two of them, right? So I have reference 1, reference 2. We have two different bibliographies in 2015 and 20. So if we update this one, so if we have some kind of, let's say I have some kind of the cert, I can have the other citation, boy one, title is reference to, reference. This is just, I can say the title, the year, maybe 2020, 2020, the year. Now the city could be just C1, maybe, and the publisher is just some publisher one. You can select type on the books section, the article or something. This one, we can select one of them. If we change, let's say this one is the article, the access, it should be the number of pages, the volume, and the issue. This should be also added. Just it depends that I prefer the book, so you can choose the information which are necessary. Now this is the second reference, right? But this one was second. This is second. It should be updated. So I can click select all the document, then right click update. It should be now updated to 3. Now on the bibliography we have two of them, so right click on this one, then update the field. It will add the third one. Now we have the second, we have the third, and here we have two figures and tables. I have a separate video on this one, how to insert tables, figures in this one. You can check the detailed one, but the thing is, if we have the picture, I will show you one of the pictures I inserted before. Okay, now this is just, if we have this image and if I need to add some kind of, so first I will say insert caption. In insert caption, it says just figure 1. If it is my first figure, I can say it. Or if I need to a new label, I can say new label and I can insert the type the new label. Let's say this is enough, figure 1. This is the figure. Then I will say, okay, this is figure 1. This is the screenshot. A screenshot of screenshot of Google. Just make it center. Make it center. Okay. I will also make the image center. We can also make all the images to center. That is the same thing as text. Now I do this one. Now I have added the figure. This is the caption or the figure number. Then I can add a list of figures here on the first page next to the figure. This is about the table of content. On table of content, I can click and I can insert the page break. I have the next page. On the next page, I can insert a reference. This one, insert table of figures. That is figure 1. Now I have only one figure, just figure 1, which is a screenshot of the Google. And for list of figures, we can give some kind of title list of figures. The table is the same thing. On tables, we do the same. The figure in table, the step is the same. If you need some details about the how to include the chapter number, how to include change the number of chapters, chapter 1, chapter 2, how to change just for chapter 1, if we say chapter 1.1, figure 1.1, figure 1.2, for chapter 2 we say figure 2.2 or something. If you need such a detail how to insert figures and tables, you can check the other video. I did a detailed video on this one, so you can check this one. The next tab here says the mailing. And mailing, this is also just beyond the introduction level, so you can check the next video. I have some video on the mailings, but to give some general highlights in the mailing, if we want to have some kind of the customized information, if we want to send an email for multiple persons with their just some birth date or name of the person or something, some personal informations and just the whole general same content, we can do some mail merge. So in just mailing, we can say we can have prepare some letters or email messages or some envelopes and labels, dictionary and such stuffs in mailing. Which means if we, let's say, if we want to prepare some kind of the grade sheets for class of students, we have just the same table, the same data, but they have their own names, they have their own data and specific information, right? So we can have the data of all the students in Excel. If we have the data of all the students in Excel, and if we want to prepare the sheets on or we can connect Word with the Excel and we can prepare the certificates, or maybe we can have some kind of emails if we will groups just to with which contains some customized information. We can also use some email messages. This is the mailing. So you can check the next video for the details about the mailings. It is more advanced topic. Then I have the review tab. The next is the review tab. On the review tab, this is just to general information, mostly here. The first thing is just we can check some spellings and grammars. We can check here. So if I want to check the grammars on the spellings, I can select this one on the grammar and spelling. We can check the grammar and spellings. So it suggests the grammars or such kind of errors, which tells us to edit on the page. So we can use such kind of options for checking the spellings and some grammars. The next thing is we can also have some kind of translations if we want to translate some part of the text. If let's say if something is good to begin, if I want to select translate this part, I can copy this one and I can say just translate document, translate the selection. Translate document means just it translates all the document. Translate the selection means the one that is selected. So the detected one is just this is English and it translates to French or something that we can hear. There are different options. We can change to let's say Hindu. It changes to Hindu. Then if I say insert, it just changes the one from English to Hindu. The next tab is just a view. On the view tab, this is just the first thing we can have the read mode, the print layout. This is if we print the paper, it has such kind of layouts. So this is a print layout. We can have if we want to publish this one on some web. So we can see the web layout. On the navigation panel, we can navigate easily on the document. Here we have the headings. Now, if I want to check the part of the equation, if the document is long, I can click here and it comes to the equations part. If I want to check on the vegetables, I can click on this one and it brings me to the vegetables. So this is some kind of navigation bars. This is by headings. We can also have by page, the navigation by page. These are different. We have this kind of document. So I see the page and I can click on the page that I'm interested in, check. So we can navigate the page with headings or the pages. These are different results. The next thing will be some kind of the orientation should be just side to side. This is vertically. We can rotate this one vertically, or it could be just side to side. Can say change the pages just from side to side. This is from 0, 1, this 2, the next one, this one. Or it can be vertical. This is as I used previously. We can have some kind of zoom in or zoom out. And the next one is the main one is the split. This one is just if we have multiple pages. If let's say if I have some kind of hobbies or insert, maybe let's say draw. That this one, if I want to check this part with the first one or something, the other one, this page, I can say here, click on this one, then split. Now this is split. Just navigate on the first part on this one, or here it can be possible to navigate the other part. So we have two parts to navigate. So if I want to check this one, the bibliography on, and also the, let's say maybe references or something, this one, let's say this one on references. Now I can navigate both of them together at the same time. They are not on the same page, they are not the consecutive pages, but we can navigate differently. We can have such kind of splits. This is all about the introduction video about Word. Thank you very much for listening, for viewing this video. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and like the video, and just click on the bell icon just to have a new notification or get the notifications for new videos. Thank you very much.